Hey everybody, it is fantastic to be talking to Brian Flynn from Super7 again. Hello Brian, you've got lots to tell us about ThunderCats and all the other siblings it's got. How are you doing?
We're talking about ThunderCats here. Let's talk about ThunderCats.
Yes. So you have just launched Wave 14, which is the new ThunderCats Ultimates with King Liono and Red Eye, one of the lunatics we've been excited to add to our ranks. So we already now know that it was meant to be 3, and I'll let you
Yep.
explain to everybody what happened to poor old Wizra.
What happened to poor old Wizra? Well, development for every figure is unique. Development for every figure, you would like to say it's a science or that it goes according to plan. It never does. And so they all sort of move at their own pace. And Wizra just wasn't coming together as quickly as the other two, but we really wanted to hold the delivery date for these figures. So the original plan was that this wave would have 3 figures, the next wave would have 3 figures, the wave after that, and then we'd be doing 3 figure waves sort of going forward on ThunderCats. Um, in as much, rather than slowing everything down, we decided to just keep moving ahead with King Liono and Red Eye. And Wizra is so then he would have been a couple months late, but it would have been pushing because of Chinese New Year. You
Yes.
know, it would have pushed everything out, and we didn't want to do that. So we brought out King Liono and Red Eye. Wizra will be in the next wave. So the next wave will actually be 4 figures, kind of like the old days, and then go on from there. So instead of 3 and 3, you're getting 2 and 4,
Okay, and then 3, and then carrying on 3, 3, 3 as per usual.
as per usual.
Okay. Okay, fantastic. So this wave is a pre-sale, meaning that you made a certain amount and that
Yes.
they're already on the way to you or about to ship to you. And you also did the same with the latest SilverHawks wave. Tell us
Yeah.
about this new model of pre-sales.
It's not so much, it's new, I guess. If we go way back in time to when we first started doing the pre-orders, I mean, it was a fundamental fact of the business. Like we couldn't make this stuff without pre-orders. It's not to say it's Kickstarter or anything else like that, but it's still like, hey, we have to pay for everything before it arrives, and we have to make sure we know how many people are here. But it also had a wonderful side effect of making it so that everybody that wanted one could get one. You didn't make too few, you didn't make too many, because if I make too few and then they sell out really fast and the secondary market comes up, everybody gets angry. If I make 10 units too many, then they sit around and everybody goes, oh, those are easy to get. I'll wait for them to go on sale. So the pre-order model got us there, but we also know that as a whole, there are so many more people that are willing to buy the toys if you can carry them in stock. We just simply weren't in a position where we could do that. And I feel like, when we're talking about ThunderCats, we're getting really deep into ThunderCats at this point. So the numbers aren't changing a whole lot wave to wave. Like we know how many people are there. It's a fairly tight group of people. But, you know, there are some new people coming into it that are coming into it through the deluxe line, but they're not really excited about Wizra right now. They're more like, where's Snarf and where's, the kittens? Like they're more at the sort of just getting into the deep end. They're not all the way at the bottom of the deep end, like searching for gold coins in wreckage, you know. That analogy makes no sense to anyone but me, but that's okay. So, in that regard, it's just trying to make the time between when we offer the figures up and when we can deliver them that much shorter.
Okay, because I know that you don't usually like doing huge pre-orders over the festive season because everybody wants to buy something for Christmas. So
Yeah.
does this now offering it as a pre-sale actually work better for you guys because this is like you're actually buying something for Christmas that you can have well probably under your tree or just a few days later under your tree. It
Yeah.
depends on the delivery.
Probably right after the tree, but you're still buying a pre. But let's not lie. anytime we buy ThunderCats, it's a present for me, right?
Yes,
Like
true. Yes.
Christmas tree or no Christmas tree, you're still buying a present for yourself. No, it's just we're just trying to make sure that we get things to people as quick as we can. And my guess is that people like it. We'll see. Is just that it's an improved, people feel like that process will be a little bit better.
I think when I learned that this one was a pre-sale, I mean, obviously the SilverHawks one was the first time I had to I, any knowledge about the pre-sale model the way that you guys are doing it now. But with ThunderCats, it's like, oh, actually, this is going to be available next month. I'm buying it now, so I'm getting it. It's not that far away, so that
No.
makes it rather exciting because it's almost it's not like okay, I'm buying it now, then a year goes by and I've completely forgotten about it. So that is really that is probably one of the
I,
highlights
I don't
about
I
this.
don't believe for a second that you've forgotten about any of the ThunderCats waves, Egmont.
No, no, not me, not me.
But yes, it's a long time to wait, and we're trying to cut that down, especially on a line where I have a pretty good understanding of exactly what we need to make. We're not going to make too few or too many kind of thing, where other lines you just don't know. I don't know what that demand's going to be. And so when I don't know what the demand is going to be, I really want to make sure it's a pre-order so that we get it right and that no one gets shortchanged.
Okay, that's good. So with this wave, they're both $65. Um
Yep.
and well each. They're not 65 together.
Yeah.
And you and you I just want to don't want to get in trouble here. And you can buy or purchase them right now from Super7 and they'll be shipping next month. So the two figures is King Liono, like I said, and Reda. But first I want to talk about King Liono. Now we've already talked in the past that Liono is one of the two main characters, him and Mamra, and people will always want another Liono. They'll always want
It
another
it
Mamra. It doesn't matter.
it,
So
it is shocking to some degree. You'd be like, people are like, no, people are not tired of Liono. They want they like as much as like a lot of the diehard collectors would be like, oh God, not another Liono, give me this guy. It's like the reality is what sells, that other Liono is gonna outsell. And it's kind of crazy. So
so
we just
so
have to make sure that we've got one of those anchors in there along the way.
and it's a nice way of introducing it's yes, okay, fine. It's the 10th Liono. And I mean I did a review the other day about the new Deluxe Wave 3 Liono. It is the tenth version of it, not counting the version 2 of the first wave, that reissue that you did. But that doesn't matter because it's a different Liono. And that is what I like. It's always fresh, it's always something new. So of course I want it because it's a different version of him that I never thought we'd get. And
Well,
the,
and if you're making a scene, you're making a diorama, you're trying to replay a moment, having him with the crown, with the add insert photo here, which will be the correct belt and everything, you're like, oh, okay, that's that moment in there. So, yeah, I think that's if we're gonna make it, we try to make it something that is going to enhance your storytelling or your display or your collection, or it's a moment that you don't have otherwise. It's not just here's an arbitrary repaint. Does that make sense?
yes, and let's talk about this photo now, that we're showing here. So how okay, you revealed yesterday that the files that got sent over were the first version, and then
So, so what it was is obviously we're building off of an older Liono to make King Liono, right? There's some parts reuse and everything. So you start with a base of files and then we adjust and we work from that. So the files that went to the factory are the correct files. But when we grab the files again to send them to the rendering team, we grab the incorrect belt. And we're all busy and everybody was looking at it and no one just went, wait, that's the wrong belt until it was too late.
okay. Well, it's an easy thing to miss for a casual fan, but our sharp-eyed
But
Thundercats fans
for
are
anybody that's watching this video, it's like, yo, that's wrong.
we're
And
gonna let you know. But that's
Oh
exciting.
yeah.
I'm really happy about it.
But the good news is that we had it correct from the beginning. The bad news is that along the way it didn't, something got messed up, and so what went out there was not correct. And it's a valid point for then people to be like, hey, that is incorrect. What's going on? And I would say that, luckily in this case it was something that had been fixed, not fixed, but that had been, was already correct. If not, it would have been we would have probably had a long conversation about pushing it out and fixing it, because it does need to be correct.
Sending us some new pants again.
Yeah, we're not doing that
Taking them
again.
off.
Nope. I'm not doing that again. We're not, yeah, no.
It took me a while to do that. I was really scared to do that. So I sat and waited for months for people to see how they did it. Then eventually I took that little pamphlet and now I'm gonna try it. I did it. It worked. It worked. It's still on there. So
Let's not do that again.
if you don't know what we're talking about, then you need to rewind a couple of years. So
No,
we'll carry
don't go
on.
there. Don't go there. Just enjoy the moment.
So with King Liono, there's a nice selection of accessories, and there's actually a very deep cut accessory there, which is the boatman staff. So if you
Hmm.
don't know who the boatman is, he's in the Trial of Evil episode. And are we going to see the boatman sometime in the future? Now we've got his staff. So where's the boat and the boatman?
He's not on the short list. I'll put it that way. There's a bunch of other characters we got to get to first.
Okay, so Lionel's got two portraits in with this figure. Did you ever consider giving him LED eyes with this release?
Uh, no, not with this release. I think that's getting into that and the buck and everything. They become more expensive figures. So, we were able to sort of balance out what we're doing with the LEDs on, Red Eye with what we're doing with King Liono.
Okay. Now you mentioned it's the you worked from the original buck of the new Liono. There is that clip on the side here by the belt. I know that the claw shield he comes with is not one that clips on. It's just the one that goes onto the wrist.
Yeah,
But it is the same. So if you've got one of the other Lionos, it will just clip on there if you want to have him wear.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and you can confirm that the cape is definitely soft goods.
So, yep.
Okay,
Come on.
so of course it has to be
You
soft goods
know,
now.
it has to be.
You've changed my mind in terms of soft goods. I have to say, I loved the plastic in the beginning, but yeah, well,
The wired soft capes are really hard to beat.
yes, they are rather cool. They are rather cool. So there is something that you that's different this time around in terms of the box art, and it's featuring the toy itself. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is. Just like I said, there's a couple things we can't really go into, but ultimately, unfortunately, going forward, they're going to be renders in that part of the box art rather than paintings.
Okay, all right. Now I thought it looked like the toy, but I wasn't too sure, so I just wanted to confirm it.
Yeah,
It
unfortunately, yeah. I think we'd all like it a little bit better if it was a painting,
okay, understood.
but it still looks good.
Yes, it does look good. It looks good. So now moving on to the other figure, and that is of course Red Eye. We finally have another lunatic. And he came with a massive surprise. I know we saw the leaks a while back. We talked about it a while back, but this was not in the leaks. So he has LED eyes. Uh,
Yep.
tell us about this. I mean, it's obvious. Duh, he's Red Eye, and you see it in the cartoon, but
I'm not sure if you're aware, but the man's name is Red Eye.
exactly.
So yeah, it just seemed like that was a really obvious thing that we wanted to add in as a feature for everybody. It wasn't a lot more discussion about that. It was just like, okay, it's an ant because the figure's already very wide, the figure's already very big, and then we want to add in the LEDs and everything. So it gets to be a lot, but that was like sort of the same thing. Like we're balancing out though a little bit with some of the expense on King Lionel there.
Okay, and it works exactly the same way as the other two LEDs with a little switch here at the bottom. pulling
Where,
it
yeah,
out and
yeah,
okay,
exactly.
awesome. Okay. Now he has this iconic discus that he throws in the show.
Yep.
Um, and I'll put up the picture now as well. It is on your website too. So can you explain to us how this disc it is removable, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can basically take the cover over the disc. You can snap that off and take the disc out and then snap it back on. And so that's how he gets his disc.
Okay. And then you mentioned that he's big. So how big is he in comparison to some of the other figures if you have one to reference as in terms of scale?
It, he's more in the terms of like width and bulk, you know? So I'm trying to think like it's different. Like, Slythe is this solid thing, Mumra's just sort of scaled up where he's more of like you took a regular figure and like expanded it on all sides. So he's more, it's a little bit on height, but it's mostly width. And so it's not correct, but the best analogy is sort of like if you were to hold the Sergeant Bananas figure from
Okay.
TMNT, where it's just like this thing is just everything about it is big. It's not scaled quite so huge as that one, but it is sort of everything is just bigger and rounder across the board.
Okay. So we need to make a bit of
He's a
space
big guy.
to
You're gonna have a
accommodate
little,
him.
yeah,
Okay.
he's gonna be wider than your typical figure.
Okay, now I have to move my lunatics then because there's not enough space over there. I'll have to make a plan.
I'm
You
I'm
know,
I'm I'm confident in your ability to make him fit.
he will fit. I will make plan. I bought an extra table to get this beast up here, so I'll make a
Yeah.
plan. So now he comes with a very interesting weapon, and that is the pacifier. So I know in the episode, the lunatics wanted to use it to actually destroy Mandora and Linkso, but she managed to get it away and use it against the lunatics. So when it comes to choosing weapons that goes with a character that is well known for his disc, I mean his disc is what he's used, is
Yeah.
what he's known for. How hard is it to choose different accessories that are still um, in in touch with the character, maybe specific episode wise? Do you find it a challenge to keep it exciting to have unique things with a figure?
No, I mean, I think with all of these characters, there's usually more accessories that you could pick than you have room for. And so we're
Yes.
like, well, what works? Can this accessory also work with other characters? Are there other stories that you can tell with it? So, like you said, in this case, like, oh, I could give that also to Mandora. That would be really cool. So, that's sort of how we ended up with that particular accessory.
Okay. All right, because we've got an accessory here. Where is it? I just had it here the other day. Um, that came with Mamra in Wave 2, which is the gyroscope thing. So there's a character that belongs to that I hope we see one day. Um, been waiting like what 14 waves now in and she's still not there. So if there's anybody at Super 7 who I can speak to, just let them call
Uh,
me.
yeah, yeah. We'll give you a call. Don't worry.
Okay. All right, cool. So, you've surprised us recently with offering reissues of other characters. We just now mentioned Mandora, Bengali Slide, and Liono, and they all look fantastic with a new box art. What was the main reason behind these reissues?
The main reason, once again, is obviously for everything, for everybody here, we want to have fun collecting Thundercats toys. We don't want it to be brutal. I can't reissue everything so that it's $5 cheaper than what you can buy on eBay. That's not really the goal. But there's definitely a core group of characters that for people that are getting into the line now, and there's a lot of people that have gotten into the line coming out of the deluxe figures that's brought a new group of people in. It's like, how do I continue to make some of those core characters or some of those unavailable, financially unavailable characters available again? Obviously, they've got some updated box stuff going on, so that's good. So you can, if you're really in the weeds, you can be like, no, this is an original versus the reissue. Um, so you can hold a bit of, some of that value. But the goal is like, hey, I want you to collect Thundercats, and I don't want you to have to pay $250 a figure the same time, I want to respect everybody that's been here, that's been collecting, that's bought it, that might have had to go out and spend the money. So it's a really fine line to walk, but the goal is to get, not crassly, but for the fun of it. Like, how do we get more people into and excited about Thundercats? Like, that's the goal.
Well, I mean, with the deluxe wave the deluxe waves that you've already issued, that really does bring people back to the line, and we'll touch on it in a bit. But I do think that if people see this in the store that they don't know about Super 7 or these action figures at all, that they're like, oh, I remember this. This is from my childhood, and I mean the iconic art on there. I mean the black and white. That's just typical Thundercats, and with the
Yeah.
logo on it, if you see that, it's like wow, Thundercats. So I think the one plays off of the other, and it's really good that you're offering some characters. They don't necessarily have to be in deluxe, but to bring them out to people who really want them.
Yeah, because there's really only a handful of deluxe figures that will come out each year because most of those stores only have, I mean, if we're talking about they have two sets a year. You have long-term sets are you have a spring and a fall set, and that's it. So those are the figures for spring, those are the figures for fall, and that's the end of it. So there's no way to get to everybody, but also there's some figures that just shouldn't be there, you know? So we can make a smaller run of reissues and make them available online.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So you gave us a new old pinless liner. Now this version of the original Scott, that's actually mirror Liono's buck that you had recreated when you moved away from the Metal Factory back in the day. Um, this this is the first time that we now have that sculpt as a original Liono, and that is a fucking awesome figure. I am really sorry to say, but that is a brilliant figure. I just love it. It stands out. It's gorgeous. It's not just the box art, but it's a beautiful figure. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fabulous. I'll give it
I'm
10 out
glad
of
you
10.
think so.
I'll give it 20 out. You know what? It actually it was rather difficult for me to now. Do I like the LED one more or do I like this one? Or that is how good that figure is really good. I just love it. It's really good. So um the accessories that he comes with now is that of the mirror liner. It's not the wave one where he had the Book of Omens with him and so on. Was that a deliberate decision to keep it different like
Are
that?
we talking about the ultimate version right now?
Yes, the ultimate
Okay, the
one.
ultimate. Yeah, it was, there is one, some of those accessories were at the other factory that we're not using. And two, it was just like, what's an updated version of what that is? So it's not a true reissue exactly the same way, but it has a bunch of the other accessories that you would expect. So it's sort of in the middle, for lack
Okay.
of a better description, maybe.
Okay. Did you? Somebody asked me the other day. The only thing that they thought that was missing from this release was the new sculpt of the LED figure. Well, the head specifically.
Uh-huh.
Was it an option to include that head with this buck, or was that not even on the table at the time?
Um, I mean, I would think it's theoretically an option. I would, I can't remember exactly at this point the debates that we had about which parts and what went in there. So, unfortunately, I'm not going to give a great answer, but I would think that that head would have been available. But then you've got to paint the eyes, and does it fit the neck peg the same? I'd have to really get in the weeds on. It may not fit the neck peg quite the same way
Okay. Okay.
because it's a different torso that we're using for the LED
Yes.
one. So I want to say that the plug is not identical, but somebody's going to prove me wrong the moment I say that. So I'm just going to go with I don't remember exactly, at this point. But we went through that at one point, and that's where we ended up. So I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for that.
Okay. No, that's fine. So, talking about the deluxe figures, this wave three, that came as a complete surprise. I did not expect to see toy variants in the deluxe line at all, especially if there's new releases like Snarf. I mean, where the hell did this come from? I was surprised, but pleasantly surprised. Why did you skip Ultimates and put him in Deluxe? That sounds
You
silly,
mean
but
for
was
the
there a
toy
reason?
version?
Yes, yes,
Well, I
yeah.
mean, they're not radically different. And I want to make sure that when we are bringing stuff out, we're bringing something new. And for that person that's coming there, looking at the black card, what are they looking for? Um, so it's like, all right, th this is a good place to bring out that variation of Snarf and let him go there because it's if you've got the ultimate one already, you might not need the toy color version, right? So we've or I or we whatever felt like it just wasn't it wasn't a huge leap, if you will. So and that for people coming there that would be a good snarf to have. And then if you're that guy that needs them all, it's like, oh, now I got this one too.
So should we should we not expect the toy version of Snarf to be issued later as an Ultimates version because it is so similar?
Yeah, yeah. We will not be making it, or at least we have no plans at this point of making a toy ultimate version.
Okay. Can we expect other characters that do not yet have toy variants in the deluxe line to make their debut there, as opposed to like
It's
Vulture Man
probably
recently
back.
did?
It's a little bit of both, you know. Um, there are definitely some figures that have as we get into the toy variants at this point, the differences become more subtle. Like some characters are very obviously different and some are not. So, when the differences get more and more subtle, it's a little harder to justify a big elaborate ultimate for that recolor,
Okay.
simply because it's a very subtle change.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. So now Lino himself, he's on the new buck of the Lino, that the same as the LED and King Lino as well. And there's one thing that I could never pick up on the pictures, and that is that his hair is and the accessories are actually more orange than red. And I never realized that until I had it in hand and compared it with the Ultimates version, which is definitely way more red than this one. Now, as you might know, the LJN line had three different versions of Lino, which was the orange hair, the red hair, and the maroon hair. So
Yes.
I don't know if this was deliberate, but this new deluxe one has got orange hair when you compare him to the Ultimates one, and that is my favorite version. So I was like, oh God, this is better. This is even better than I thought. So that what was there a okay, obviously we know people want liner. So was there a reason that you chose the orange? I mean, it might be light red or it's definitely not the same red.
I mean, we can all get into the million conversations of like, okay, which color it is from the toy? Which color it is it based on which TV you're watching the DVD on? What color is it on? Which screen are you grabbing it from? What the color is? There's a lot of different there. We try to be pretty consistent.
There was an unproduced red Liono in the vintage line. We saw some pictures of it back in the day. And also a purple Mumra. Now you've already offered us an evil mutant reaction purple Mumra back in the day.
Yeah.
Are these options for you to do variants as either exclusives or
Yeah, I
normal
think at
DX
some point,
releases?
if the line keeps moving, there would be no reason why we wouldn't get there. I think in general, if I talk about Mumra, I feel like we've done quite a lot at this point. And I feel like everybody's like, okay, I don't need another repaint of Mumra, you know. I would I'd make purple ones. I'd make all sorts of ones. I'd like a glow in the dark one. How cool would that be? But that
Yes.
doesn't mean that that's what everybody else wants. So I think for right now, you're not, we're not in the business of making any mummer recolors for the moment.
Okay. All right. So I'll wait for my purple one in a year or two or three. We'll revisit this back
We'll
in a few
revisit it.
years.
When it becomes the time where people are like, hey, when's the next mum rock coming? Then we'll be like, all right, well, we'll talk about that.
So talking about what's next, you mentioned spring, autumn is usually what the deluxe waves are set for release. So we can expect wave 4 to be spring your time next year.
Yeah, I think the reset happens mid-February-ish, February, March. So somewhere February and March would be the next wave of deluxe.
Okay. And then it would start with Target and then eventually move over to Super7 and other retailers.
Yes, I think from March it starts at Target first, but I think when we talk about fall of next year, there may be multiple retailers that launch it at the same time.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a fantastic move for Super7 to be branching out even more. Oh, okay, no comment. Okay, that's fine. That's awesome. Well, congratulations. That's good
Crocodile
news.
arms. Crocodile arms. I'm not going to touch that.
The next thing that I want to discuss is the LJN Thunder Tank and the toy variant Panther that you surprised us with a little bit earlier this year. That was an Amazon exclusive, and now people can buy it from Super7 directly as well.
Yep.
How was the reaction from collectors? How did it come across to you guys?
It's been okay. It wasn't a runaway screamer, but it wasn't terrible. Um, that was, I think we've said before, that was really something that Amazon felt really strongly that they wanted to have back in the market. And so we worked with them to bring it back. I think it's a really awesome looking toy. It's so the toy colors are just, it's the same thing. Like, yes, our goal is to make it look like it came off the screen, but a lot of times our like internal emotions react to the toy colors differently. So for me, I'm like, oh man, this red and the blue and everything, like it feels different. But at the same time, I mean, I'm assuming anybody that's watching this has probably might have a Thunder Tank or they've held the Thunder Tank. It's just such an amazing beast of a toy that I wasn't necessarily opposed to making it come out again, when they're like, okay, you really, really, really want it because it's really cool. So let's get it back out.
Okay, well, I can't wait to get my hands on one. So it is available to buy from Super7 now. You are
Yep.
offering free domestic shipping at the moment. How
Yep.
long is that going to be available, the free domestic shipping, until the end of the year?
I don't know. I would have to talk to I would have to talk to the sort of sales and marketing side of that of what they're planning on doing. I don't know how
Okay.
long that promotion's going.
I need to speak to somebody on there because I'm planning on buying myself one for Christmas. So
All
I just
right.
need to make sure that it's going to stay that way. Um,
Yeah.
I, I there's a Panther figure in there. I mean, there's a toy variant of Panther in there, which is on
Well,
everybody's
somebody's
lips.
got to drive the Thunder Tank.
Exactly. And in his toy form, and it's a brand new sculpt, which is so exciting. So I just want to touch on that Panther again. Um, will we see this LJN toy version separately, either as deluxe or ultimates?
You will not see the LJN toy version separately.
Okay, so
The
you have to
LJN
buy the
toy
tank.
version comes with the tank. Yes.
Okay, because like you said, they are fairly similar. I mean, it's different shades of blue. It's not like Rotaro that's blue and
Yeah,
actually green on the other side.
yeah, and the harness is different and some other stuff.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, just please keep one aside for me. I'll be there over Christmas. I'm getting my Thunder Tank.
You're
I've got a
coming over
separate.
for Christmas?
No, 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 no. My
I
my
was
my
about
credit card will come over for Christmas.
to
So,
say.
I'll just throw it in there. Now I've got a separate display for my toy variants. This is the cartoon room, but there can be a similar room, like you've got the LJ and Thunder Tank. We can just drop the mountainsides and then just maybe reissue a toy version of the Cats layer. Have you thought about that?
I've had a few people ask me about it. It's not that we couldn't do it. It's just like it's such a big thing and so many people, I don't know. I think if they yeah, if you want to put together a sort of online petition for the amount of people that might want that, I just worry that the amount of people that could afford and have space to do a second colorway of that would be a very small group of people.
Okay, maybe I'll post it in 2 years. Let's give it some time.
You know, would I like to make it? Of course, but I have a hard time. I don't know. This hard time is not quite right, but it's like I think it would be a difficult hurdle to get enough people that are like, yes, I need two of those.
No, it is a big
Other
ask. I
than the
mean,
people that already bought two.
yeah, yes, that's also true. I also know people that's bought two. So that is, I could have bought two if I lived in the US. The bloody shipping was expensive this side, but that's fine. That's fine. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yes.
So will we see anything for Thundercats at Comic-Con next year?
Yeah, we're gonna have something.
Okay. Awesome.
Can't tell you what.
No, you don't have to. We're not going to put a break, pause, and then I'll reveal it in a few months. No, we won't do it.
Yeah,
We won't do it
no,
to the
no, no.
people.
It would be remiss of us not to have something Thundercats related there for sure.
Thank you. That's awesome. So next year you are planning to do more pre-sales if this works well for Thundercats?
Yeah, there's both some Thundercats should be on basically a pre-sale model mostly going forward at this point. And then I when we talk about TigerSharks, that's going to be a pre-order. I think we feel confident enough to move into tooling ahead of time. We're gonna so that we can cut the time down, but how many pieces, I don't know. I really have no idea. And I think especially, if you talk about TigerSharks, what's the interest going to be in wave one versus what the interest is going to be in wave two? It may be radically different as well. So we'll just have to wait and see.
You are planning to launch TigerSharks in January next year?
Yes.
And then you are going all in with this wave one, making a big splash. Well, literally a big splash with the
hey everybody, Eggman's here all night.
So I mean, you need to get the crowds in. So I'm assuming that we'll see big names in wave one.
I would assume.
Okay, good. Then now you've completely thrown my questions. TigerSharks is way down the line.
All right. Sorry.
So I'll just jump back up. We have touched on it, and you have touched on it on another interview recently. There's not really any plans for any playsets or vehicles in the immediate future, correct?
No, not right now. I think we've got a lot done. We need the Sky Cutter to get into people's hands, and then we'll sort of look after that. But there's nothing on the calendar right now.
Okay. I forgot to ask you this. Well, we spoke about it last time, but that floor map thing that was with Cat Slayer at Comic-Con.
Oh yeah.
What happened to that?
The file? We were going to make the file downloadable. What happened to that? You're right. I'm going to write a note down.
We still want that. We want the file.
Okay. Yeah, I hear you. That's on me. Yeah, there's no reason we can't. I think the same thing last time. It's like, yeah, we should just post that up and make that available. Thank you for reminding me. I had forgotten. So I apologize. I'll get that.
Awesome.
We'll get that file together.
Thank you. That's cool. So, in terms of Thundercats as well, you had the vintage line as well that you brought out. and you mentioned that the response hasn't been as you had hoped it would be.
It's been surprisingly lackluster.
Okay. So any future waves cancelled?
Everything's on hold for that line for right now. Like
Okay.
I was very surprised. I realized that there has been attempts in the past to go down that route, but I figured that there was a lot of people that would be interested in that and a lot of people that wanted to cross over between the two, and apparently I was incorrect.
Because that Comic Con exclusive was just fantastic.
I
That's my
I think
first
I
Mamora's
think they're
tune.
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
that's the first. It turns and everything, and that's
You
really
open up the
cool.
panels and have the statues.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we'll
I
see.
thought it was really
So
great too. But the core line, the basic line, people didn't really respond that well to.
okay,
So,
okay. It's
mhm.
a pity. It's cool. I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, no, I we had more planned.
Okay. All right.
I'm
I'll
trying to address all your collector needs, but sometimes we get it
yes.
wrong.
Yeah. That's okay. Then the reaction line as well. You mentioned that it's on hiatus for a little bit.
Yeah,
Um.
I feel like, once again, you're talking to about a smaller subset of people that really like 3 3/4 and retro and that sort of older thing. And were they even the right age group that had that format while they played with their Thundercats? I feel like, we did a few waves of it. It did okay. It started to wane a little bit. It just feels like we kind of satiated the demand from that type of fan. There are the fans that want everything, so they'd love to see lines continue. But I think in general, it's like, a couple waves of that was just, that feels like that's what that customer was really interested in. And then they were good.
Could we hope to have the core team completed? We
I,
just need a handful.
yeah. We all know that I love making reaction figures, but the goal is to not complete the core teams or not bring out the main characters. But I would say at this point right now, there's not really, it doesn't seem like that there's a huge demand for another wave of those, that people are pretty happy with what they have.
Okay, I'll put a poll on for that. I
All right.
want Wily Kit and Wily Cat. So, um, now you've just recently, the last year or so, had Reaction Plus, and you mentioned that that might be something that you want to introduce for Thundercats in 2027.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that we're looking at and we've been spending some time with. I think, once again, it comes back to that same thing. Like, do other people want it? And you never quite know. Like, I was fairly convinced that the vintage line was going to be very well received, and then it wasn't. Where Reaction did pretty good and then started to taper off, which is, fairly normal for a toy line, right? So you just never know. And if you're gonna, especially on a line like that where it's not a pre-order based system or anything else like that, where you've got to commit to units and tooling ahead of time, you've got to be very confident that you can move through it. Um, so if we're talking about Reaction Plus, even though G.I. Joe continued to move on, like how many people that played with Thundercats played with O-ring figures? And is that something where they're like, oh, these feel compatible to me, or does it not make any sense? And I don't have a strong answer one way or the other on that. So I think we're in the zone of like, it could definitely work. It feels like, for us, everything feels, oh yeah, that'd be awesome, but we have to be a bit more critical than that. So I think, it's definitely something we've been talking about.
Okay. So I'm jumping back to SilverHawks now. You revealed that you were pleasantly surprised by the response to the latest Toon Wave. Uh,
Yeah,
in com
the latest wave actually outperformed the previous wave, which usually doesn't happen. Usually, I think everybody can, it doesn't wouldn't shock people to be like every wave you get later into a line, the orders and the interest is less and less. And this one went boom and went back up. So we were very surprised. And because it was the same thing, we're starting to have those conversations of just like, how long is the runway on Silverhawks? And when is it just like, okay, everybody's got enough? And this wave did much better than expected. So it's like, oh, Oh, well, that's a pleasant surprise. And that just means that we've got more room on the runway.
So that's good news for SilverHawks fans. There's a possibility to see more characters um,
Oh, definitely.
in the near future.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're working on stuff. We're working on stuff.
Okay. So will we see anything in 2026 for SilverHawks?
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
And would it be toon or toy variants or both?
Uh, let's not get into that quite yet.
Okay. Okay. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
You mentioned in another interview, sorry, I'm jumping all over the place now, that it would take about 6 months between waves for ThunderCats now, for
Yeah,
them to go on
you know,
pre-sale.
yeah. So generally we've got 2 waves a year planned for ThunderCats right now. Um, plus there might be a special here or there because you're also mixing in, that customer is generally a fragment of the, so if we take like, here's how many people want to buy ThunderCats. Okay, a group of those people want to buy SilverHawks, but not all of them. But it's the same person in the same wallet. I'm asking them for the same money. And then when we talk about TigerSharks, it's a smaller version of that. It's in my mind, it is the same person.
Yes.
So when I'm bringing it, if I bring too much, it's too expensive to keep up with the lines, if you will. So when we talk about Thundercats, it's like, okay, there's 2 Thundercats, but then in between the Thundercats, we're dropping SilverHawks and TigerSharks.
And the other thing, of course, you've got the deluxe lines as well. So
Yes.
that is something that it sounds like that we're only getting so many, but we're actually getting a lot more if you jump in between this and that and that and that as well. You're busy the whole
Yeah,
year.
I think if you were to oversimplify it, you'd be like, okay, this Thundercats wave is happening right now. Next will be TigerSharks, then it would be Thundercats, then it would be SilverHawks, then it would be Thundercats, then it would be TigerSharks, and you would have this sort of rolling,
Okay,
program.
that
Does
sounds
that make
cool.
sense?
Yes, it sounds exciting. We've got a busy
Yeah.
year ahead of us. Okay, and we're getting it like just a few weeks after the pre-sale goes live,
Yeah.
which is even better. So that wait that we've had these past few months between the waves, that has now caught up. We basically just now buying, getting it a few weeks later, and
Yeah,
wait for the
because I
next one.
mean, literally those figures are shipping in the next couple weeks. So then it's just, they're going to get here at the end of December. Uh,
Okay.
you know, they should, ideally, we should be shipping them in December, but I'm sure some of it will drag into, February. It just sort of all depends on, does it take a week at the port? Does it take 2 weeks at the port? Does it, all the logistics that happens around that, but they're all like, right around the corner.
Because I would like to explore something that you discussed um, last night with Jorge and his friend, the mighty. Now he's gonna kill me. I'm gonna have to edit this bit out. Mega J. There we go. It's all
Yeah.
tip from my tongue.
Jorge and
So
Mega J.
yes. So the question came up about the 2011 Thundercats and the comic books. That the Dynamite comic books. Now you have mentioned to me before that you have been in touch with them um, about
Dynamite?
Thundercats.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. We've been in
would
touch.
this okay would this basically be um uh like a subline, or would this see the worlds collide with the regular toon versions
No,
and
I
or
mean, right
one-offs?
now, I would say before we talk about the Dynamite stuff, we're really looking at the 2011 stuff.
Okay. And would you now I've mentioned this before. I know a lot of people want this. Well, some people I don't mind it, but the double joints would work for the 2011 Thundercats because those toys did have double joints in the 6-inch scale.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, if we were to go down that route, I would think that that's where we would be. Yes, that would make
Okay.
a lot of sense.
Yes, because it's not the same line, it's a different line.
Exactly. It's part of the same, but it's not the same.
Yes.
Sort of like the
Okay.
2003 Turtles versus the classic Turtles.
Yes, and the thing is, it's a different kid that played with those. When my nephew was a little boy when the 2011 Thundercats came out, and if he gets those now, it will remind him of the vintage toys that he had. Well, those vintage toys.
Yeah.
This the same with the double joints. So that is something to think about. But please don't change the double joints or the joints for the current line, because we're so deep in the line
No,
already.
we're so deep in the line. We got to keep that
Okay.
consistency.
Okay, cool. I know a lot of people might hate me for this, but that's okay. I like it like this. It works.
It's 50-50. Yeah.
It's 50-50. Anyway, so there is some stuff going around about Warner Brothers that is on sale, or there was an offer by Paramount that they
Well,
had to
there's
decline.
a lot of people trying to buy it. I don't know who. I mean, my guess is it's probably going to be Netflix, only because Paramount has a lot of stuff. They could pay a lot, but Netflix doesn't have the same history. So they're probably going to be willing to pay more to get it. So I don't know. We'll see who wins. I don't know.
If this does eventually go through, how I don't know if you can answer this, but do you have any concern for the licensing for carrying on with Thundercats?
Not really, not in the near term at least. Obviously, when we sign contracts that for multiple years, and even if somebody buys somebody, it takes years for them to meld all the departments. We have a very good and it doesn't mean that Warner Brothers, just because Netflix owns them, doesn't mean Warner Brothers is changing how Warner Brothers works. So I'm not terribly worried about that.
Okay.
So, and secondly, there's nothing to worry about yet. And third, even if there was, there's not a whole lot I can do about it. So I'm just going to keep making the best stuff I can make. And, we've got a really good relationship with them, especially about Thundercats. So I would think that they would want to continue doing that with us.
Okay, that's fantastic. I mean, look at how far we are already. It's wave 14. Wave 15 is coming next
Yeah.
year. We are very deep. It's been 6 years since you launched Thundercats, and that's quite a
And
journey.
I don't think anybody would have guessed that we would have gotten this deep. Do you? Would you have?
I honestly hoped we
You
would
would have
get the core
hoped.
character. We would get the core characters done. That is what I wanted, because I had the history of the Club Grayskull figures that were just cut short, and of obviously the very first version of Thundercats that was just cut after the first wave. So my wish was just let me get the main characters done. I don't want to go customize any figures, but now it's like dream after dream coming true with all of these characters. I mean, I never dreamt in my life I'd own a Cats Lair, but it's happened. So it's all thanks to you guys. Thank you.
Well, no, well, it's thanks to everybody that supported the line. So let's be fair. That's thanks to everybody that's willing to watch these videos for an hour of us talking about, you know, joints on an obscure character or whether his eyes light up or not.
Well, Brian, I have to say thank you so much again for taking the time to talk to me. It's always wonderful catching up on Thundercats, and can't wait to see what's next. And do you have any parting words that you'd like to share with us?
Nothing, just thanks to everybody for supporting the line and continuing to support the line. This has been great fun, and it's really fun to be really deep in the weeds on this and have it be successful, because normally you just don't get to make all these deep cuts. And not only are we're not just making deep cuts at this point. We're well beyond deep cuts. We're in but that's what's so fun about it, is all these crazy characters. And it's hard for me to think of many other toy lines that are really sort of this deep, other than your big ones. You've got that with Transformers, you've got it with Star Wars, you've got it with Marvel, you've got it with Turtles. But after that, it's really hard to think of a modern toy line that's been able to get this deep into a character base. I'm sure somebody will pop up with a couple obvious examples that I'm not thinking of, but normally getting this deep is reserved only for a very select group of licenses. So being able to be there for Thundercats is really fun.
Yes, thank you, thank you. It's really we're getting characters I never thought we'd ever see. So being able to see them come to life on my shelf, That's a wonderful feeling, and I'm sure everybody who owns them will agree.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they do.
Well, thank you, Brian. It's been lovely talking to you, and we'll catch up again with Wave 15.
Yes, we will. Or something else in between.
Oh yes, that Chitara that you mentioned. Wonder what that might be.